Welcome to Psychology Hints. Let's dive into exactly why we tend to blame ourselves after being manipulated.
You know that heavy, crushing sense of self-blame after dealing with a manipulator? Why does that happen?
Well, it's not a character flaw. Actually, it's a completely predictable, hardwired survival response to trauma. See, our brains crave fairness. Subconsciously, we assume we must have played a role just to maintain order.
Then there's gaslighting. Manipulators chip away at your self-trust by constantly denying your literal lived reality.
Hearing you're too sensitive on repeat? Yeah, that leads to internalized gaslighting. You literally doubt your own mind.
Eventually, you just adopt their false narrative. You blame yourself, totally convinced that you're the one in the wrong.
This triggers cognitive dissonance. It's basically a painful, nonstop mental tug-of-war between logic and your daily reality. You might genuinely love this person but simultaneously feel absolute, paralyzing fear whenever they're around.
To survive those two clashing realities, your brain rationalizes the abuse by desperately shifting all that blame inward.
And that creates trauma bonding. It's a wildly addictive dependency that gives you false hope during ongoing mistreatment.
It's a neurological hack. You minimize your own pain and absorb the blame just to keep that connection alive.
Next comes learned helplessness. Through relentless coercive control, these manipulators systematically strip away your personal agency.
When your attempts to push back are met with more abuse, you just stop trying.
Narcissistic abusers rely heavily on these tactics. They constantly deflect blame so they don't have to take responsibility. The result? Chronic self-doubt. You start falsely believing you are entirely responsible for their unhappiness.
Over time, their non-stop guilt tripping makes you feel like a huge burden, which totally crushes your self-esteem.
You soak up that shame like a sponge, feeling inherently flawed, and ultimately blame yourself for the abuse.
This triggers the fawn response. It's a trauma reaction where you think total compliance is your only safety net.
So you desperately try to fix yourself. You take the hit just to avoid conflict and keep the peace.
Understanding these mechanics is literally your key to freedom. Are you ready to drop someone else's guilt for good?
That's all for today's Psychology Hints. Reclaim your sense of self, and thanks for watching Psychology Hints.